Yeah, sorry. I've just got in now. Got to leave meeting.
Okay, guys, we are live. I hope you can still see my screen. Can I get a thumbs up, guys? Brilliant, thank you. So we are live on Facebook. Welcome, hello. We are very excited to be here again on Wednesday, 1:30, with the Digital Toolkit Expert Panel. So we have a special guest here today from Logan Office of Economic Development, Michelle Martin, who'll be taking us through banking for business. So we're really excited about this one because, well, finances, they scare the bejeebers out of me, and I would much rather be informed going into that dark cave. So I'm really looking forward to the insights and advice that I can get from Michelle and the panel from their wealth of experience in small business as well. And I will share what experiences and insights I have in this area as well, probably more to do with grants, I think, recently. But looking forward to the topic today. So without further ado, stepping into it. Just a quick mention there for the Brisbane Expo, the Small Business Expo that we had. What was the date? 21st of October. We had Mr. Gosh, what was his name? Matt Manitoa, if you're watching. Really pleased that you won the grand prize for the Lucky Dip at the Digital Toolkit stand. So thank you for stopping by, and looking forward to having a chat with you further for 2022. Once again, congratulations to our Aussie Spotlight winners for last month. So our September winners of the Jane's Handcrafts and Gifts gift baskets was Tracy Kennedy. Great to catch up with you at the expo again, Trace, from Bond Property Managed Property, and Sharon Mitchell from Mitchell Fine Art in Fortitude Valley. So once again, congratulations. And for those of you who are engaging with our content and our page this month of October, up until I believe it's the 6th of November, we'll be drawing it live at the Redland Bay Expo. Kinetics is offering 12 months of managed WordPress hosting for your website, 12 months worth of hosting. That's $800 worth of value to reward our social champions for this month. So do make sure you engage with the page. That's like, tag, commenting, ask a question, share, tag your business. Just help us spread the word. We want to keep this platform free for small business, and we want to keep making it exciting for businesses to get involved as well in the spotlight. So please do make sure you engage with the page and help us bring insights to your business and help you grow. The Digital Toolkit 2021 has had an incredible amount of experts have jumped in over the last, where we were nearly at the end of 2021, so it's going to change 2022 very shortly. But we've just had an incredible brains trust of experts on the Toolkit panel this year and last year as well. It's just getting better every year, and we love what we do. We love jumping in here every week and sharing our experience and our knowledge with you. It's fun as well. I really enjoy jumping in here every Wednesday, so it's the highlight of my week, and I look forward to the various topics that we deliver. So who do we have on the session today? We've got myself, Katrina Paranik from Ranking Australia. We have Michelle Martin from Logan Office of Economic Development and Logan City Council. We have Andrea Anderson from Your Marketing Machines. We have Kay Rich from Dash Social. Jamin Andrews from Kinetics. And Michelle, do you have a twin? No, that's a double up on the slide. Apologies. We do have an incredible, as I said, number of experts and businesses that are involved in keeping the toolkit running. So we want to keep bringing amazing topics to you in 2022. So don't forget to share your ideas or ask us questions and tell us what you want to know more about. And we will structure the topics for next year around those hot topics. Speaking of hot topics, we've got Hot and Healthy Academy, which is available at the moment for the first 30 days for $1. Which is really cool. It's a $1 trial of the Hot and Healthy Academy, major sponsor of the Digital Toolkit for 2021. So do go and check it out at hotandhealthyglobal.com. And Encord, our website marketing platform of choice. So please do make sure you go and check out Encord for your all-in-one website marketing tool. I managed to save hundreds each month by just moving from all these various different applications I was using and having a very simple, easy to use tool, encord.com. Go and check it out. So Ranking Australia, we help you get Google-fied. So if you need help with getting found, growing your business, or just simply showing up when people search for you, give us a call and we'll be able to help you get there. Over to you, Andrea.
Good afternoon, fellow entrepreneurs. Andrea Anderson, Chief Idea Specialist for Your Marketing Machines. We are a marketing strategy and communications company based here in Petrie Terrace. And essentially, as marketing strategists, we are the glue between what you want your business to achieve and how marketing can realistically help you achieve those. Bringing those two things together, we align both the magic of marketing as well as your business goals and aspirations and help you to achieve success. Looking forward to today's presentation today, actually. Katrina, I think we're in for a bit of a good one with Michelle.
I think so. It's definitely not a common topic on the toolkit. So all the juicy stuff today. Make sure you tune in. Over to you, Kay.
Thanks very much. Hi, everybody. As Andrew called it, I'm the magic, I'm the marketing. I am the creative director of Dash Social. So what we do is we specialize in organic content, all your social media. Predominantly, I like to sit in the place of LinkedIn, but we're across it all, including blogs. So really excited to be here as a small business person, as the president of the Mullaney Chamber of Commerce. I'm really interested in what Michelle has to say today. And welcome, Michelle.
Thanks, Kay. Over to Jamin. Do we need a drum roll?
Thank you very much. Hello everyone. I'm Jamin from Kinetics Web Hosting. As the name suggests, that's what we do, is web hosting. So when you're working with these fabulous people in their marketing and LinkedIn connections and SEO and all that magic, we help your website stay up and available at all times. So yeah, reach out. Put some comments in there if you want any questions with regards to hosting. Even if you're not on our platform, happy to help. So yeah, that's me, Jamin from Kinetics.
Beautiful, thanks, Jamin. Just before I hand over to Michelle, oops. There it is. The button was hiding from me. Over to you, Michelle. Really pleased to have you on the session today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me get organised here and ensure that everyone can see what we will be discussing this afternoon. So let's get that up. All right, just a tester. Is this one looking okay?
We can't see anything yet. I just had to stop sharing.
Okay.
But you've got the floor.
Got the floor. Okay, excellent. So now I am. There we go. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for your patience. And let's get this up and going. Okay. Are we all good? Can we see this?
We are.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Katrina. Thank you for the introduction and welcome everybody this afternoon to our session we have on today in regards to banking for small businesses. My name is Michelle Martin. As Katrina kindly introduced myself, I'm the small business advisor here at the Logan Office of Economic Development.
which is a team under the Economic Development and Strategy team within the city, Logan City Council. So just before I start, I would just like to begin with acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land of which we gather today and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. So today's discussion is on, in fact, a subject really dear to my heart, as it is something that I have had a really great career in. So today we'll be talking about, first and foremost, who I am. As you know, my role at the minute, it is actually not my background entirely, so I'd love to sort of just explain that at the start. Then we'll be looking at what is business banking, how to choose a business bank and things to consider if you haven't already have a relationship with a bank, what things you should consider when making that decision. Then we'll just have a look at should I stay or should I go? So that's in respect to, you know, should I stay with the bank I currently have all my personal things with, or should I separate things and go with a bank elsewhere? And then the last topic, or there is a topic that I would love to sort of give my advice in terms of my experience with the bank, and that is the 5 C's of business lending. So this may not apply to some, as they may not be wanting to look to, you know, do a loan application or apply for business lending. But if you are and in that space at looking at purchasing anything, then these 5 C's will be very fundamental in your discussion with your business banker or your bank. So we'll go through those as well. So, banking for small business. Who am I? As mentioned, I'm the small business advisor here at the Logan City Council, but my background is in fact finance, banking and finance, and I've been in the industry, had been in the industry for over 15 years, working in corporate, commercial, business banking, private bank and retail banking. I managed over 500 business clients in my time, and left the last role I was in was a business banker. I was a business banker manager and managed 148 business clients. They were from an array of different industries, all within different business stages, who employed from 1 to 50 employees. I was their trusted financial advisor, providing financial advice from different bank account options, different products, business lending options, business insurance options, and discussions on transactional banking. I also conducted periodic business reviews regularly, usually every quarter, to find out what their business plans were, how they were tracking financially, and whether they needed any financial assistance to help them maintain, sustain, grow, or retire their business. I work with many business owners from all walks of life and learnt a lot from this. I learnt that no one business is the same and everyone had different needs and wants. To be successful in my role, I had to really understand the business, who ran it, what the operation systems were, how they tracked their business financially, and what other professional advisors they utilised. Accountants, listers, financial planners, etc. Because if they had a team of expert advisors, then it was really important that we work together for the benefit and purpose of our client. So just a bit of a disclaimer for this presentation today. I am actually taking my council hat off and putting on my banker's hat. And drawing on my experience and knowledge on the bank over the 15 years I've had there. So this is not actual advice, and I do recommend you seek professional advice before making any decisions. So what is business banking? As a business owner, having a separate trading bank account is essential in running a business successfully. If you're operating a partnership, a company, or a trust, you must have a separate bank account for tax purposes. The ATO does mention that if you're operating as a sole trader, you don't have to open a business account, but it is a fundamental idea to do so. From an ATO perspective, this is okay. However, from someone from the bank, I will let you know that the banks do review their customer accounts. And if they see that a customer is using a personal account for business purposes or transactions, then they actually have the ability to close that account, as there are different contractual rules for personal accounts and business accounts, which can be seen in the bank's terms and conditions. So just keep this in mind. There are other benefits that business accounts can provide, and I'll speak on some of those a bit later on. So it might be better to actually set yourself up with a business account now, with most accounts nowadays having free monthly fees, or have a small monthly fee applicable. Do it now rather than later, remembering account fees are tax deductible. Business banking is a dedicated branch of expert business bankers, advisors, managers, associates. There are several names for them, just depends on the bank and the level of seniority of the person. A business banker is accredited, are specialised, are experts in their field, and possess industrial knowledge to be the best financial advisor to their clients. Business banking has a host of products and service offerings that retail cannot offer, either because they are not trained or compliant to speak of the product or service. Some banks have business bankers that are both business compliant and retail compliant. That was myself, which is where I could actually advise on a retail product. So when I mention retail product, this is things as like a personal credit card or a home loan. But also I could advise on business products such as business lending, business overdrafts, equipment finance. A retail personal banker cannot do this, as it will be a breach of the banking code of practice, unless they are, of course, accredited to do so. So choosing a business bank and things to consider. Choosing a business bank really depends on your business requirements, its services and or products that you need to operate your business more efficiently and effectively. Once you determine what you need, it is then important to know what each business bank offers its business clients. Now, predominantly most banks offer quite similar products. Maybe they have a different name to it and whatnot. However, it's always best to find out first. Go and have a chat to the bank. But I do advise to try and speak to an actual business banker rather than the branch manager or the personal banker. They may know some information, but if they're not accredited, then they actually cannot discuss entirely about the product or service. Because what we want to try and avoid is setting up or moving to another bank and then realizing they can't do what you need in order to operate your business effectively. So things to consider are, and there are many things to consider, but these are in my experience, what people look for when they did approach me about becoming a client in the bank I used to work for. Account transaction fees or fees in general, and the interest applicable on either a lending product or a savings account. The next one was customer service. Do they have access to someone readily? They can go into a branch and have a chat to someone about their business accounts, or is there a phone number that's always answered if they had any questions? Most banks are pretty equipped now and strive to have really good customer service representation, with some now previously having their contact centre overseas and actually bringing it back to Australia, so that people actually knew they were talking to someone who was in the actual company. So a lot of banks do that now, and that's really great to see. Discounts or benefits. So when you're looking at choosing, when you're choosing a business, have a look at the benefits of joining that bank. Often they have a lot of specials, discounts on products, waivers of fees in the early stages to attract new customers to the business bank. Have a look at them and just see if they are applicable, and just really just ensuring that it does work within and it best suits your business model. Obviously looking at the services offerings overall. So if you're someone who needs, merchant facilities, ask them how they what type of merchant facilities they have in place, and then really and go into depth in terms of, all right, how do they charge, how do you apply for it, and how do you qualify for some of the products and services. Have a look at how they could possibly help with setting up a small overdraft on the account if that's needed for your cash flow requirements. What security features that the bank have in place to ensure that your financial information is kept safe, particularly where we're looking at people or businesses using internet banking and so forth, or things like if they've got two to sign on the accounts, or if they issue e-tokens, etc. Another major one is internet banking. Pretty much every bank has internet banking, but only a few have business banking platforms. And the difference there between the personal banking and business banking does vary quite significantly, in that the business banking online platforms generally have more information that can provide you with updates on your financial position. Some actually are able to give you a snapshot of how you're trading each month and what particular expenses you're spending for your business in that month. So it's about learning to know what the features are, and you just ask the business banker and they should be able to advise you what it is. Some banks though do have, for example, CommBank, they have CommBiz, and that's a separate department or a separate area, and they purely just look after CommBiz or the business bank business clients that are on their business banking online platform. And ultimate, the nearest branch to you. So what people, and I could quite understand, is when they set up or they, open an account at a branch and then all of a sudden the branch closes. Sometimes people like that one-on-one interaction with people, want to ask the question in front of their banker and discuss their financial situation in person with someone rather than over the phone through customer service. So this is a really big one, but also particularly if you're a business that requires to do banking each month or each day, can you actually take it to a branch to do that is near and close by to you, or do you have to travel far away? So these are just some of the things to be mindful when you do join, when you look to sign up to a business bank. But overall, it is best to do your research on your local business banks within your area to see what they offer, and to ensure really that it is perfect fit for your business. So here I've just done a bit of a snapshot of the types of business accounts available at the moment just via the finder.com.au website. This is a really good snapshot in that it actually can, when you're researching, you can see what sort of features each of the business accounts have. So as you can see, majority of them, utilize the likes of Google Play, Apple Pay, but the Commonwealth Bank one doesn't utilize Garmin Pay. So if you're a business that does that, well, then obviously it's not wise to probably go to the Commonwealth Bank to open up a business account. The likes of Oscar and PayID as well, so that's the instant payment platform. Majority of them all have it except for Heritage Bank. So again, if you're that type of business that needs to know when your customers just paid you, well then Oscar will show you. But if you're at Heritage Bank, you're going to have to still wait potentially the 24, 48 hours to see that payment come through. Then we look at, and these are just some of the examples, the type of payments or fees applicable on the accounts. Westpac is travelling quite far from the rest of them by charging the $10 fee, but you can see that the others are at zero, which is generally where they're heading towards, because they know that they might not get a monthly fee charge a customer a monthly fee. They'll most likely be able to get their fee from another product or service that's tagged on to the account, for example, a business overdraft. And then just the last column there is just looking at the electronic payments, and of course everyone is doing that. So these are just little things where if you just take the time to go through the bank, or if you're looking at joining a bank to do your business banking, what features they have, and does it really suit your business model or fit in within your business model. So should I stay or should I go? So basically, this is where, when you're choosing a bank or business, let's rephrase it. When you're choosing a business bank, first have a look at the offer. Well, first determine what sort of features and products and services that you may need. Sometimes clients don't know what they need, or they don't know what is out there in order to determine what would be best suited for their business model. So that's where it's really a good idea to have a chat to the bank first. Then they sort of determine, okay, should I stay? That is, should I stay with the current bank all my personal things are with, because you know what, it may be easier, or should I go? Should I go to a totally separate bank to do purely my business, fundamentals, finances, business accounts, product, services? Why some people stay with the same bank? As mentioned before, easier to manage. You don't need to move anything over. You don't need to, you'll still obviously need to sign a couple of account opening forms and whatnot. And each bank will have their particular criteria to do so. But other than that, you're pretty much set and ready to go. It also enhances and better your relationship with the bank. Obviously, having all your personal banking and then also your business banking, the bank then can get an understanding of who you are, what you're doing. It's like a history type thing. You'll hopefully be seen as a loyal customer or loyal client, which in some cases really does help, particularly if you're wanting to get advice. So if your business banker knows you or your personal banker knows you, then just enhancing that relationship, that it will definitely or can help with your business operation. And
can I just chime in there because
sure.
I had a very smooth experience probably beginning of 20 2019, I think it was, and I was looking into options for, you know, finances and things like that, and it was always painful ringing up as a personal banker. But as soon as I hopped on and went business account, and they had already, I didn't realize, but they assigned me a manager within I'm with NAB. So they're brilliant. They look after their business clients, not their personal banking clients so much, but they do prioritize their business ones. And just that smooth experience, and basically you get waited on hand and foot. If you need something, they'll answer your question. They have no problem spending that extra time. Obviously, they want you to keep your money there, so you know. But it was so different, like just that. I guess TLC that you get as a business client of the bank, it was just incredibly different. I just wanted to raise that because if there are still small business or sole traders out there using their personal accounts, get a business account. I totally recommend. I totally agree with Michelle on that part, because they just look after you, and it's just so much easier to get things done, get answers to your questions, and potentially even get finances approved sooner if that's something that you need to do. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think it just comes back to I mean, that's really great feedback to hear that the bank is definitely looking after you. And that's what we did strive to do when I worked in business banking, commercial banking, and also corporate, is that we did look after our business clients. I guess if I could be honest here, from a revenues perspective, business clients are more favourable, but also the fact that you've got specialised business bankers, and this is what they do. They are trained, they're passionate, and they look after businesses. Not to say personal bankers don't, but this is where you'll find if you do or are in a relationship with a business banker or a business bank, is that they are. It's almost where they don't want to lose a client. So the customer service, their skills really is enhanced. But also, without small businesses, without businesses, the economy, does suffer, is affected. So why not look after, the businesses in the world? So no, that's really great to hear that the feedback there from you, Katrina. Thank you. The other point there of why people stay in the same bank is to potentially mitigate some of the risk factors that may be present, particularly where you might look at, start looking at business lending application and things like that. Because if they see your personal and have history and with your personal banking, and then you've got your business banking there, overall then they feel it's almost like if I may say, like if you meet someone up front, you're like, oh hi, you're friendly to them, but you're not gonna have a great chat and divulge everything. But if you know that person from when they had kids to and things like that, and you've got that relationship, then it actually makes the conversations, any decision making, a lot easier, because they know who you are, what you do, how you're performing, how you track, how you're running your business, and are you doing well. So that could be a good thing. However, it also could not be a good thing, in that if the bank knows how you manage your personal finance, and then under your business you're looking to get a loan out, but then they know, oh, you're not on a personal matter, you really don't look after your banking or your personal finance, and you may have a few dishonors or bad account history, etc. So it can work in favour in terms of making the lending applications more easier, but it also could be a detriment to you, because if you're not so good at your finances, then the bank then has maybe more reluctance to actually lend you any money. So just be careful of that. Where they do look at both your personal and your business banking history when assessing a business loan application or lending application. So should I go? Why some people opt to have separate banks? And this is okay. It's not to say if you do go to a separate bank or another bank that you're not going to get the same service and things like that. But it's just something to be conscious of when deciding if you're just going to stay with the same bank or do go to a separate one. And some of the reasons why people do go to other banks is first and foremost other bank offerings. They may have better products and better services and whatnot that suits your business model more, hence why you would switch and go to another bank. A lot of people, business owners particularly, obviously like that separation of this is my personal stuff, this is my personal banking, that's on this side, and this is my business banking, and that stays on that side. For larger organisations, in terms of access, so larger organisations often opt to have separate banks for their businesses because they are not the ones who are actually looking after the business accounts. So they might have an accounts person or a financial controller who looks into that. And so they then don't want that person to know anything about their personal matters or personal finance. And so that's why they do have that separation there and recommended. So, it may be purely on the fact that one of your advisors, such as your accountant, solicitor or financial planner, has actually recommended to go to XYZ bank for your business. So those are some of the reasons and just some things to think about. Because when you join a bank, as some may have experienced, it's not always easy. Sometimes it can be time consuming, depending on your business model. So if you're a trust and things like that, you need trust deeds, you need the executives or to come into the branch, or you have all the account opening forms signed, etc. So it's not necessarily an easy, let's just go into the branch and I'll open up an account today. But yeah, so these are just some of the things to think about when you are deciding where to go. All right, so the next thing I'd like to talk about, as mentioned, so far we've looked at key pointers, really. So in a nutshell of what to look for when choosing a business bank. This is something we need to do as we set up and when we are establishing our business. So, for example, we have now a business bank. We've opened a business account. We've been trading for at least 12, 24 months. Have maybe a business credit card, and the business is going really well. We now are looking to expand our business and maybe looking to buy new equipment like a printing machine or maybe a fleet of cars for our workers, or perhaps even looking at purchasing a commercial building for the business to operate from, whatever it may be. We approach our business banker and start talking to them about our plans for the business. It is here the business banker will ask you many questions. It is here I would like to share with you some key considerations every business owner should be aware of when considering business lending. For example, applying for a business loan, equipment finance, or a business overdraft, so forth. I feel that a business owner will be more aware of the lending process through this. It will also enable them to be better equipped, prepared, and ultimately making the lending application more of a streamlined process for both the business owner and the bank. Noting each bank has its own lending processes. However, all banks must adhere to the banking code of practice, and I've just got their link there. The code is a set of promises about how banks will behave when dealing with customers, including small business customers and farmers. If you run a small business or agribusiness, you have important rights under the code, particularly when you're applying for a loan, borrowing, defaulting, or experiencing financial difficulty. So today, it's not about going through the code because it's huge. It's just more so on some of the fundamentals to just keep in mind when you are looking, or maybe you are currently in the process of applying for business lending within the bank. Now, every business banker, manager, associate, whatever they may call themselves, in a bank, they must be accredited and as business with business lending accreditation, and they learn these C's of lending. Now, sometimes they're known as the 3 C's, sometimes the 5 C's. As a potential business borrower, knowing the 5 C's that lenders use may help you better understand how to have the best chance of securing a business loan when you need one. So from that little diagram there, I'm just going to go through each of those today. So the first one there is character. Is the business something that the bank wants to deal with? All right, so this is the most important of the 5 C's. Character refers to the business, its management, and the shareholders who are going to guarantee the loan. There's some subjective nature to this category, and a good lender will know a potential borrower has a good character or not without looking at any credit reports. However, credit reports and financial statements are definitely still important. The questions that help a lender decide on the character of a business include: does the company pay its vendors on time? Are all the ATO accounts up to date? Has the business been through tough times and did they work through them? Did the business file for bankruptcy? Most lenders will say that they don't want to make loans to businesses or consumers unless they're 100% confident in the potential borrower's character. So character can also include the person or the directors or the sole trader's background. So if how long they've been in the industry for of their business, have they got any qualifications? They also look at, some bankers do look at your family situation. For example, are you single, or do you have kids in a family? And the reason for that is it actually just forms an overall picture of, okay, if you're, for example, single, well, you might not be 100% committed into developing your business and staying on track. However, if you had a family, of course you would need to be, in order to get them income and money and pay for all the family expenses. So these are just some of the things and tips that bankers do go through and have a look. And that's where, as I spoke earlier on about whether to stay or go, if you have your personal banking with the same bank that you've got your business, then that's where the banker is able to pretty much pull up reports and whatnot and trends on your banking history and form a calculated picture of who you are as a person. Do we actually trust, not me, but does the bank trust in you and trust that the money will give it? They are giving to the business. They are going to work hard and getting it back. And that's where the next one comes into play, which is capacity. Can you afford to repay the loan? This comes down to whether you generate enough clear profits to make the repayments on the payment schedule proposed by your lender. If the answer is no, then really none of the other C's really matter. So basically, if you can't afford the facility, the loan, the overdraft, the equipment finance repayments, then it's a no. Traditional lenders are strictly regulated by again, the banking code of practice and have to lend responsibly. So you'll automatically be refused finance if you cannot show that you can comfortably service a loan. Even alternative lenders who don't operate under the same regulations, and there are a few out there, are often more tolerant on risk, still need to have a reasonable level of assurance that you can meet repayments when they fall due. Timing is crucial here. Your business may be profitable on paper, so when you hand over your accountant's the prepared financials from your accountant, and on paper the business looks like it's booming, but does this really translate into the actual cash in the bank at the time that you need it? What happens if the customer are late paying, or your customers are late paying, or if interest rates rise? Do you have sufficient reserves to cover a temporary shortfall or manage high interest rate long term? If not, then you may need to postpone your borrowing plans until your business is more established. Collateral. Do you have assets you can offer as security? Profits being generated from the business operations are always the first source of repayment of a business loan, known as the first way out. Nearly every business loan has collateral securing it. Even a personal guarantee from the director or sole trader or principal shareholders as well is considered collateral. A lender must evaluate the collateral as a second and possibly third source of repayment if a business is unable to repay its loan. Questions a lender might ask itself are: how much is the collateral worth if it must be liquidated? How long might it take to convert the collateral into cash for loan repayment? And is the collateral hard to find and collect, such as accounts receivable? Some lenders prefer property because they believe it has historically been good collateral, while others prefer quicker to collect assets like accounts receivable. For the likes of equipment finance, obviously using the machinery, the car, the truck as collateral. Every bank has its own preference. Depending on the kind of asset as well, a lender may discount the value when considering its value for the loan. So, for example, a business lender will discount a commercial property if this is being used as collateral by 30%, and hence only lend up to 70% of its value. I think nowadays, the bank now being quite conservative, it is only 65% to lend rule, with 35% the business must put up itself. But there are many other ways banks can assess collateral and different types of collateral security. Those two names are really interchangeable. Capital. How much capital is there in your business? As part of their investigation into your character, your potential lender might want to see your balance sheet to establish the value of any assets or capital reserves in your business or what the business owns. Even if you are not planning to put up as collateral for your loan, they can be significant. After all, a business with assets at least has something to sell if it struggles to repay a loan. Having capital invested in your business rather than relying on purely debt finance can also reassure a lender that you're fully committed to your business. And the last one there is conditions. Your repayment schedule, so your conditions on what terms do you want to borrow. Your repayment schedule is one of the loan conditions you may be able to negotiate with a potential lender. For example, you may be able to make larger repayments during a busy sales period and a minimal holding payments during seasonal or quiet times. Conditions are also referred to as covenants. Other loan terms could include interest rate and type, so fixed interest rate, variable interest rate, how much you can borrow. There might be a clause or covenant to say you can only borrow up to 65% of that commercial building property that you're looking to purchase. Loan duration, might be a loan. Majority of the loans, business loans, have only a max term of 10 years, but some can be longer. Just depends on the circumstances, the purpose of the loan, and the type of security being offered. Flexibility to repay the loan early and redraw those funds if you do repay that loan down sooner. Repayment setup, so is it interest only, or are we going principal and interest? And also they do include quarterly, or some loans do require quarterly or annual reviews on those loans. So varying conditions of your loans can make a big impact on the lender's decision. For example, they may consider your application more favourable if you prefer to reduce the amount you're borrowing, making repayments more frequently, or pay a higher interest rate. So this is hopefully today you've been able to take away a few pointers when looking at the best business bank for your business model. And for those that are looking at future finance opportunities, then hopefully the information on the 5 C's will better equip you and prepare your business better for when you have those discussions with your business banker. All right, so I've got 5 minutes, I think. So yeah, that's me. If you do have any questions, you might have some there. There's my contact details that I'm super, more than happy to have a discussion with anyone who is wanting to maybe not at the stage of having a business banker, but wanting to know a little bit more. I'm happy to share my experience, my 15 years experience that I've had looking after businesses, and just some of the fundamentals there when choosing the best business bank for you. In saying that though, it is not advice, and I do again recommend that you speak to a professional or seek professional advice from your accountant, solicitor, or from your business banker. So that is me done.
Brilliant. Brilliant session. There's a few things that I picked up myself there, Michelle. I'm sure that there's going to be, a lot of people getting some value from that. But just curious if there was any thoughts or questions that the team had there. Andrea, I think I know you wanted to mention something. Kay, did you have a question?
Look, I do. Firstly, Michelle, thanks very much. It was really, really informative. I've been in small business for the last 20 plus years, off and on. So one of the things that I did want to sort of explain to everybody is that banking is a business. They are there for them, not for you. So you need to take your business and look at it the best way that you possibly can. Long time ago, your banking manager used to be your best friend. That certainly hasn't been in the last 20 years. So really have a look at what you need and if you really need to go down that avenue.
Okay, no, you're right. I think the business bank or every bank, right, is in business. They're there to make money. Let's be honest, we all are. And so, long are the days where, and this is where I experienced a few customers back when I was a business banker, where they'll say, "Oh, we'll just go to another bank." And almost to that point, I was just like, well, okay, I can't help you then, see you later. You know what I mean? So it's something where I encourage people to question, to ask, to go to a business bank and discuss and try and negotiate things, but they are not now somewhere where they're afraid to lose you because they don't want those sort of clients. So be bold, don't be afraid to ask, for a discount or, waiver a fee, but then don't get offended if they say no, because they are in business as well, there to make money.
Absolutely.
Andrea, did you have something that you wanted to add there?
Oh, look, I was just going to say, because not everybody's aware of it, and that is there is the federal government's phase 3 business loan scheme, which is currently available at the moment up until the 31st of December 2021. Essentially what is happening is that the government is, federal government is guaranteeing $5 billion being made available. I'm pretty sure it's $5 billion being made available to support business resuscitation around Australia. So that means for eligible businesses, they can either receive a secured business loan up to 5 million or an unsecured business loan up to 250,000. It's a 10-year loan, and the interest rates are anywhere between 2.5% and 7.5%. Now, this is not a grant, people. It is actually a business loan. So you do need to be able to achieve the 5 Cs that was laid out by Michelle. But however, in saying that, the big one here is that the federal government is genuinely wanting to support businesses to resuscitate because of what's happened through the pandemic. So you may find that they are probably a little bit more negotiable, and I'm talking about the banks here. They may be a little bit more negotiable purely because it's not the bank's money. It's the government's money. So they're probably more inclined and quite happy to lose that than they are to lose their own. So look, I'd encourage, if you do have a banking manager, definitely reach out to them. Or if you have a finance broker who deals in either business, personal loans or mortgage brokering, you may find that they are already aware of this program. And look, I've been in business for years, and look, I'll be honest, banks don't like you as a small business. If you're, a big business or a medium-sized business, then absolutely they want you. But as a small business, if you're generating less than $1 million, it can be a real struggle to, let alone $100,000. So it can be a real struggle for you to get that support. And you never know, this could be an element, an opportunity that can help give you that extra boost to resuscitate your business and take it to the next level.
Can I ask, Andrea, do you need to do that through the bank or you apply directly to the government?
You need to do it through the bank. It needs to go through a finance broker. Essentially what the government's done is they've gone to the banks, all of them, and gone, we'll guarantee you for 10 years. So in other words, if we default, the banks will still get paid.
Yeah, you still have to prove your that you've had an impact from COVID. So it's still rated around that 30% reduction in revenue.
Not necessarily, because what it just says is that your businesses that are adversely economically impacted. So for example, I've not taken a 30% hit. If anything, there was a slight increase. But when I spoke to my finance broker, he goes, we can still show actually that you were impacted by COVID and that you were forced to be in a position to employ through COVID, which therefore affected my revenue. Wasn't impacted, but my profit was, because I employed through it. And they said, because of that, we may be able to get that over the line for you.
Which bank's that?
That wasn't with the bank. I've done it through a finance broker. Who's negotiating with the banks on my behalf. That's what I mean. It's like you can either go to the bank if you've got a great relationship, or look, I've got a business banking manager. Did I get an email to say, hey, we've got this available to you? No, I did not. I had a finance broker from my BNI, from another BNI group who came and told me, and I went, what do you need? So I've given it all to him. But yeah, because I didn't have the 30% decline, but my profits were impacted because I was forced to be in a position to employ. And they said, yep, we can based on that, you've been adversely impacted. Because if I didn't employ, I wouldn't have been able to provide the services that we provide through COVID. And therefore the business would have folded. So It's like the devil you know, or the devil you do, or the devil you don't. So I think, look, best thing to do is go and speak to either a finance broker who knows about this, or go directly to the banks and have a conversation. Find out what specifically you need, and if it's for those of you out there who are in a position who may be able to take advantage, who knows?
Thanks for the heads up.
Yes, definitely.
By the way, it closes 31st of December. It's been out since about May this year. Funny how nobody got told about it, eh?
Not even.
Wow.
And they just made some slight changes to it. 1st of July, 1st of August, they made some changes to open it up. But still, nobody's been... See if your bank has sent you any information about it.
All right, so everyone who's watching, listening, make sure you ask your finance broker about the, what is it called? Business, Andrea?
It's the phase 3 business loan scheme.
Phase 3 business loan scheme.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Do you have a particular a link that would be ideal to share on the live feed for this one?
I've put through a link on the chat.
Okay,
that was from NAB.
All right, I'll pop that.
Not that I'm promoting them either.
I'll pop that on the live feed. No worries. All right, thank you for that, Andrea. Brilliant. I'm sure there's plenty of people who will be very appreciative of that. Brilliant session. Thank you so much for all that preparation, Michelle. It was a very insightful session. I do not, as I said when we started, it's a very murky cave when we start getting into finance and banks and management and all of that. That's what I've got accountants for. But in any case, brilliant session. Thank you, guys. I won't keep you any longer. Please do make sure that you engage with the page, guys, so that you can get a chance to go into the draw to win the Kinetics Spotlight giveaway for the 12 months managed WordPress hosting. So take care of your website for next year, which is brilliant for those who need to take their physical business online, or pivot their business as they've been adversely affected with COVID potentially. So until then, until next time, make sure you register to get found, get paid, and grow your business online. Bye for now.